This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
We're working to connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Alma Angeles. We're coming to you live from Manila and Thailand. Hello, Esther.
Hi, Alma. I'm Esther Odanga from EBC Thailand Bureau, bringing you the news in the dynamic ASEAN region.
On today's headlines, President Duterte will deliver his last State of the Nation address before he steps down as the country's chief executive in 2022.
The House of Representatives opened the third regular session of the 18th Congress on Monday morning, hours ahead of President Rodrigo Duterte's sixth and final State of the Nation address.
And protesters during President Duterte's ultimate State of the Nation address are told to observe health protocols, as failure to do so is enough reason to stop the rally.
Some of the newly procured body-worn cameras of the Philippine National Police will be utilized during the final State of the Nation address of President Duterte today.
Aside from that, meron din tayong
Health and safety protocols are all set for the holding of President Duterte's sixth and final State of the Nation address today. Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles said strict protocols will be observed to ensure that it will not endanger the health of guests at the Batasang Pambansa in Quezon City amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Presidential Communications Operations Secretary Martin Andanar also earlier said a maximum of 400 guests are expected to attend the final SONA. Guests must present their proof of vaccination, must be negative for COVID-19 via a reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction test 2 days before the event, and undergo rapid antigen tests at the Batasang Pambansa on SONA Day. Video, teleconferencing, and live streaming will be done to accommodate media and guests who will not be physically present at the plenary hall. Free SONAs were held across the country to assist the president in reporting to the people the accomplishments of his administration over the past 5 years, as well as the scale-up plans for the remainder of his term. The pre-SONAs were also held to inform the public on the priority and legacy projects of the Duterte administration, as well as the COVID response and strategies. Duterte's penultimate SONA lasted for 100 minutes. It is longer compared to his fourth SONA, which lasted for 93 minutes. His longest SONA was his second, which lasted for 120 minutes. His first and third SONAs lasted for 90 minutes and 48 minutes, respectively.
Among the many things that the administration of President Rodrigo Duterte will be remembered for is how it opened doors for the Filipino youth to explore opportunities leading to empowerment, success, and realization of their aspirations. Department of Social Welfare and Development Secretary Rolando Bautista said, through the Department of Education, students, including the poor, received quality educations and equitable allocation of crucial resources. Let's take a look.
Kaya naman upang gawing matatag ang pundasyon ng edukasyon sa bansa, nagpatayo at nakapagkumpuni tayo ng aabot sa 150,000 na mga silid-aralan at school facilities sa buong bansa. Nakapagpadagdag din tayo ng 206,000 na mga guro na madaragdagan pa ng humigit kumulang 10,000 sa darating na Agosto. Ang patuloy na pagpapatupad din ng K-12 program ng Department of Education ay naging paraan upang matiyak ang kasanayan at kaalaman ng 3.2 milyong mag-aaral ay nahahasa para makasabay sa pandaigdigang pamantayan. Natulungan din ng pamahalaan ang mahigit 2.2 milyong mga kabataan na nais makapag-aral ng high school, ngunit walang sapat na kakayahang pinansyal sa pamamagitan ng mga financial assistance programs tulad ng Education Service, Contracting Program, at Senior High School Voucher Program. Binibigyan natin ng kakayahan ang mga senior high school graduate na mamili kung tutuloy sa pag-aaral ng kolehiyo, higit na linangin ang mga kasanayan, magtayo ng sarili nilang negosyo, o kaya ay mag-umpisa ng magtrabaho. Kung kaya't mas pinahusay ang mga technical and vocational education and training o TVET programs, kaalinsabay ng pagkakaloob ng mga scholarships ang pagdaragdag ng mga pasilidad tulad ng training laboratories. Sa lalong pagpapaigting ng alternative learning system, na ipagkaloob natin ang mas maraming oportunidad sa mga out-of-school youth at adults. Sa kabuuan, humigit sa 3.3 million na ang mga nabigyan ng bagong pag-asang makapag-aral muli.
To ensure that learning continues and all Filipino students receive quality education amid the COVID-19 pandemic, DepEd empowered modular distance learning with distribution of over 1 million computers, laptops, and tablets in 93% of schools in the country. In line with this, DepEd trained teacher broadcasters who educate learners without internet access through television and radio. So far, 1,427 episodes have been created.
And the House of Representatives today opened the third regular session of the 18th Congress this morning, hours ahead of President Duterte's sixth and final State of the Nation address. Deputy Speaker and IPAC-man Representative Michael Romero presided over the hybrid session at 10 a.m. In his opening speech, Speaker Lord Alan Velasco also highlighted that the House has fully supported the legislative agenda of the Duterte administration. Again, let's listen in.
5 years hence, we can see how the Filipino people continue to put their trust and confidence in President Duterte. PRRD continues to enjoy high survey ratings with its latest Pulse Asia approval rating at 91%. Only President Duterte among his predecessors has kept his approval ratings above 75% for most of his term, according to Pulse Asia. We, in the House of Representatives, fully supported the legislative agenda of this administration, passing laws that promoted economic development, strengthened the administration of justice and the rule of law, enhanced the protection of labor and social welfare, improved the quality of and increased access to education and information, enhanced our health and emergency response system, and strengthened our political and governmental institutions. In what can be seen as a defining moment in our lives as politicians and public servants, we chose to keep the legislative mill running even during the height of COVID-19 community lockdowns. We approved much-needed emergency pandemic response measures, and despite some political challenges, we managed to pass the 2021 budget on time. Salamat po sa inyong lahat. We laws which granted the President additional authority.
Deputy Speaker and one PAC-man Representative Michael Romero also said Congress will also be reviewing relevant policies in public health and safety, including the medical stockpiling bill to allow the Department of Health to stockpile, conserve, and facilitate the supply and distribution of pharmaceuticals and vaccines for public health emergencies. To improve the country's response to the pandemic, the House of Representatives will prioritize the passage of two measures seeking to establish a virology research institute in the Philippines and a Center for Disease Control. Let's take a look.
Also in our priorities are the bills establishing the Virology Institute of the Philippines to ensure that we have a viable national virology research agenda that will also encourage research and development in the field of virology. And the Center for Disease Control and Prevention for a more comprehensive and responsive public health emergency management system in the country.
The Philippine Center for Disease Control or CDC will serve as the country's principal health protection agency tasked to prevent, protect, and manage the spread of diseases and other health threats originating domestically and internationally.
In other news, all horizontal and vertical projects in this war-torn city in Marawi will be finished by December this year, based on the latest assessment of the task force Bangon Marawi. TFBM Chair and Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development Secretary Eduardo Del Rosario is confident that the government will be able to meet the rehabilitation timeline by the end of 2021, as they only need to work on 30% of the overall projects. He said with regards to the ongoing horizontal and vertical projects in the Marawi rehabilitation, he said we're about 70 to 75% complete, and they are on track to complete all these projects by December of this year. That in a statement he said on Sunday. In his visit to Marawi City last week, Del Rosario graced the turnover activities of housing units to Maranao families severely affected by the 5-month siege in 2017. He also said the TFBM and its 56 implementing agencies are determined to hasten the rehabilitation of the city and provide quality living conditions for the conflict-afflicted residents. Key shelter agencies such as Social Housing, Finance Corporation, and National Housing Authority have been coordinating with the TFBM to establish sustainable resettlement sites. Last week alone, the TFBM turned over 170 permanent houses to informal settler families, followed by the transfer of 120 two-bedroom housing units to members of 8 local homeowners associations and awarded 50 Japan-donated permanent housing units. In February, some 109 internally displaced families were initially transferred to the permanent housing units. Rosario said over 200 permanent houses built within Marawi's most affected area are slated to be turned over next month.
Meanwhile, the country is inching closer to reaping the gains of economic development through the Build, Build, Build program of the Duterte administration, which resulted in the construction of several infrastructure projects nationwide. Take a look.
Infrastructure project. We will make a few years the golden age of infrastructure in the Philippines to enhance our mobility and connectivity and thereby spur development growth on equitable in the country. In other words, we are going to build, build, and build.
Yung unang hamon sa amin ni Presidente was to decongest EDSA. So yung EDSA decongestion program natin was conceptualized and was formed. Ito po yung master plan with 25 projects, including Skyway Stage 3. Maraki yung binuno ng administration to make this project a reality. But what's good about this is Skyway Stage 3 is only one of 25 projects.
Master plan projects na natapos ng DPWH, katulad ng EDSA decongestion program. Nung pumasok kami, pinresent namin yung plano namin na decongest EDSA. Maraming hindi naniwala sa parang halos pinagtatawanan lang kami nung pinresent namin yung plano ni Presidente na i-decongest ang EDSA. Nung sinabi niya na 5 minutes, talagang wala talagang naniwala sa 5 minutes na yan. Pero tingnan nyo ngayon, 15 minutes sa balintawak kami from paggalit po sa Makati. At malaki po na bawas na compute namin na napakalaki ng pagtaas ng average speed sa EDSA. Binuksan yung Skyway at pati yung bridges, yung Kalayaan Bridge, yung Estrella Pantayon Bridge, yung Harbor Link. lahat yan nakatulong sa decongestion ng Metro Manila. So yung problema na wala, parang hopeless na tayo, naging totoo na yung EDSA decongestion.
Based on its latest data, the Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, has completed a total of 29,264 kilometers of roads, including those that have been widened and rehabilitated. Among them are the North Luzon Expressway, or NLEX, Harbor Link Segment 10, the Cavite-Laguna Expressway, the Tarlac-Pangasinan-La Union Expressway, the Laguna Lake Highway, the Candon City Bypass Road in Ilocos Sur, the Slaughterhouse Road in Davao City, the Pulilan-Baliwag Diversion Road in Bulacan. The NLEX Harbor Link Segment 10 now connects to port area in Manila to NLEX and includes 3 exit-off ramps, segments, and C3 ramp to Caloocan City, the Gat-Dagatan ramp to Malabon City, and C3 R10 ramp to Navotas City. These also include Calapan-Rojas Road in Oriental Mindoro, the Mandaue Causeway Road in Cebu, the Dipolog-Oroqueta Road in Misamis Occidental, the Dumaguete North Road in Negros Oriental, and the Taytay El Nido Road in Palawan. The DPWH also completed a total of 11,340 flood mitigation structures since June 2016, which aimed at protecting flood-prone areas across the country. Those that have been constructed include the Mandaluyong Main Drainage Project, the pumping stations in Barangays Wawang Polo and Caloong, the Flood Risk Management Protection for Cagayan River, the Flood Risk Management Project for Tagoloan River, the Leyte Tide Embankment Project, and the Pasig Marikina River Flood Control Project. The DPWH said 5,950 bridges were completed, included in the works those have widened, or 1,366, retrofitted 1,805, rehabilitated 1,389, replaced 297, and some 738 local bridges have been constructed. Among them are the Lokban Bridge in Cagayan, the Marcos Bridge in Marikina, the Sicapo Bridge in Ilocos Norte, the Andoyan Bridge in La Union, the Talang Bridge in Cagayan, the Bolo-Bolo Bridge in Misamis Oriental, the Caguray Bridge in Oriental Mindoro, the Tinongdan Bridge, the Pasak Kulkul in Pampanga, the Agaan Bridge in Iloilo, the Madiagat Bridge in Nueva Vizcaya, and the Pigalo Bridge in Isabela. Last month, the DPWH also opened the Santa Monica Loton Bridge, known as Clayaan Bridge, which connects Loton Avenue in Makati City and Santa Monica Street in Pasig City. Through the Clayaan Bridge, motorists will be spared from traffic congestion going in and out of Makati and Bonifacio Global City in Taguig and Pasig and Mandaluyong City. Meanwhile, the Estrella Pantaleon Bridge connecting the cities of Mandaluyong and Makati and Binondo Intramuros Bridge project, both China-funded projects, are set to be completed soon. As of June 22, the 4-lane Estrella Pantaleon Bridge is 93% complete, and meanwhile, the Binondo Intramuros Bridge is now 70% complete, with its substantial completion expected in December this year. Earlier in July, President Rodrigo Duterte led the inauguration of Central Luzon Link Freeway, which connects Tarlac and Nueva Ecija within 20 minutes. In his 2017 State of the Nation Address, or SONA, Duterte said the government is targeting to increase government spending on infrastructure from 5% of GDP in 2017, 7% of GDP by 2022, amounting to nearly $180 billion or 9 trillion Philippine peso in infrastructure projects. The country's journey to progress made a sudden turn due to coronavirus pandemic last year. The DPWH has also played a vital role in responding to pandemic as it spearheaded the construction of facilities for patients and medical workers nationwide. Based on DPWH data, over 653 COVID-19 facilities such as modular hospitals, off-site dormitories, and isolation facilities have been erected near health facilities and government lots. These facilities have bed capacity of 23,170.
The Department of National Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana gave President Rodrigo Duterte a rating of 90% in terms of his administration's accomplishments in preserving peace and security in the country. Let's listen in.
Ang rating ni Presidente siguro 90%, ano? Dahil naano niya yung nadagdagan niya yung mga equipment ng ating mga sundalo at maganda yung direktiba niya sa amin na puksain yung ating insurgency. Ngayon, siguro ang dapat pang nating magawa sa kanyang administrasyon ay dagdagan natin yung ating mga naangkat o nabiling mga equipment dahil kailangan pa natin yan, lalong-lalo na yung ating mga barko at mga aeroplano.
Guided by the President's order to defend what rightfully belongs to the country without going to war, Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana also said they have consistently asserted the Philippines' sovereignty and sovereign rights. Let's watch this.
Bumalik tayo doon sa before the assumption of President Duterte, 2016. Noong panahon na yon ay hindi makapangisda yung ating mga mangingisda dyan sa Scarborough at saka yung ibang lugar dyan. Pagkatapos ng pumasok si Presidente, naging Presidente siya, at nakipag-ugnayan at nakipagkaibigan kay Xi Jinping, ay President Xi Jinping, ay lumuwag yung ating ang pagpasok ng ating mga mangingisda sa lugar diyan. Hanggang ngayon ay sa lahat ng iisip natin, sa lahat ng lugar ay nakakapunta yung ating mga mangingisda. Tama yung sabi ni Secretary Esperon, hindi lang naman yung West Philippines ang ating batayan ng ating relasyon sa China, kundi marami pa. Trade, education, social, and everything. Napakalit lang yung West Philippines Sea. At ngayon, dahil sa ginawa ni President Duterte nung siya pumasok, na sinabi niya, we are friends of everyone and enemy of no one. Wala tayong kalaban, pakikipagkaibigan yan. Hindi tayo mga mamimili ng kaibigan basta nakakatulong sa atin. And they can support our national interest. So ngayon, ang ating mga ginagawa dito sa West Philippine Sea ay nakakapagpatrolya yung ating mga naval ships, mga barko ng Navy, Coast Guard, at saka yung BIFAR, Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. At tayo naman ngayon ay nakakapagpatuloy ng ating pag-improve ng ating facilities sa Pag-asa Island, saka iba-iba pang mga isla na sakop natin, na nasa posisyon natin. Meron tayong siyam na isla dyan sa South China Sea na okupado natin. Yun ang ating ini-improve ngayon, ang facilities doon para sa ating mga sundalo. So, ganon, yan ang magandang legacy na nagawa ni President Duterte ay makipag-ugnayan at para matahimik ang sitwasyon dyan sa West Philippine Sea.
Cambodia is preparing the draft of the Phnom Penh Statement on Post-COVID Socio-Economic Recovery. This during the upcoming 13th ASEAN Summit. The details from Crystal Ann Ballesteros, joining us live from Cambodia. Hello, Crystal Ann.
Hi, Alma. Good afternoon, and to all our online viewers. Cambodia is preparing the draft of Phnom Penh Statement on the Post-COVID-19 Socio-Economic Recovery for adoption by the leaders of the Asia and Europe during the 13th ASEAN Summit hosted by Cambodia in November. Foreign Affairs Ministry Secretary of State Louis David said, the draft of Phnom Penh Statement on the Post-COVID-19 Socio-Economic Recovery initiated by Cambodia will be adopted by ASEAN leaders during the 13th ASEAN Summit. This is This is a testament to Cambodia's diplomatic talent and capability, as well as an actual factor that Asia-Europe partners have supported the government of Cambodia in promoting multilateral mechanisms, economic cooperations, connectivity, and resolving common issues between the two regions. David also said that under the chairmanship of Cambodia, all Asia-Europe countries have a closer and more cohesive cooperation, especially in the context of the deadly COVID-19 pandemic, which all countries around the world are fighting. David, who is also the head of ASEAN 13 National Secretariat, said that previously Cambodia had committed to host the summit in physical form, but the safety of leaders of ASEAN countries as well as all Cambodians during the COVID-19 pandemic is a main priority. As a new strain of the virus is spreading around the world, Cambodia has decided to host this summit virtually by video conference. The kingdom will still chair the ASEAN 13 summit, and Prime Minister Hun Sen will open it on November 25. Originally, ASEAN 13 was scheduled for November 16 to 17 last year. But due to pandemic, the summit was first delayed to mid-2021, then finally to November 25 to 26 this year. ASEM is an intergovernmental process established in 1996 to foster dialogue and cooperation between Asia and Europe. Back to you, Alma.
Thank you, Crystal, for your updates there in Cambodia. Please stay safe.
You too, Alma, reporting live here in Cambodia. I am Crystal Ann Ballesteros, and we live in interesting times.
Now let's get some reactions on the upcoming State of the Nation address. We are joined live by Aaron Blue Calleja. Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Esther. So as a healthcare professional, I see the urgent need of our countrymen in quality and accessible healthcare. And I want to extend my gratitude to our beloved President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, for having our universal health law, which is really a big help for our countrymen, especially our indigent citizens, to have equal access to all medical procedures free of charge, or if not, for low cost. And as an OFW, having our own OFW hospital, which is now under construction in Pampanga, is also a manifest that the government is indeed serious in uplifting the health of its citizens. You know, Esther, I observed that here in Thailand, they are using their national ID for their healthcare transaction, and I praise the government for pushing our national ID system, which is a must for giving Filipinos ease of transaction, not just for the government thing, but also for healthcare as well. It may not be perfect as of now, but giving it a start, our future generation will benefit from it. Adding to the fact that the Philippines have the most vaccine brand available in ASEAN region. In his last SONA, I hope that he will give more emphasis on our fight for this current COVID-19 pandemic and see much clearer view in uplifting more of our healthcare system, and hoping that he may see the need of our country to be ready for future outbreaks or future pandemics to have less impact in our economy. We see the efforts of this administration and hoping their good plans and legacies will be continued and improved by the next administration. Again, thank you so much, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, and good luck to your last State of the Nation address. Back to you, Esther.
Very timely. Thank you for your insights, Aaron. Stay safe. Now, let's get another reaction. Staying in Thailand, we're joined live by our Bureau Chief, Cristel Mapa. Hi, Cristel.
Yes, hi, Esther. Well, personally, I really look forward to President Duterte's last SONA. With the pandemic that's been here for more than a year, it's more challenging for the government to finish what the administration has laid out in his previous SONAs. And now that the current administration has less than a year to address numerous issues, I hope that President Duterte would include plans to revive country's tourism sector, internationally and domestically. As we know and what we have reported in the past, Thailand's Phuket and Samui Islands are now open to fully vaccinated tourists and has generated an estimated revenue of 400 million baht. That's roughly 12 million US dollars, Esther, in just a month since its reopening. I hope that the government will have a clear direction or an initiative to restart tourism wherein there's a balance of ensuring health and safety for everyone, of course, while generating income, especially for our kababayans whose livelihood depends on it. We are all excited to travel again, but of course, our health and safety is our top priority. On a lighter side, Esther, I also look forward to President Duterte's quotable quotes and live spontaneous remarks in his last SONA. Back to you, Esther.
Let's wait for those quotable quotes, Crystal. Stay safe and stay healthy.
You too.
And we are being joined live by MJ Racadio, joining us live from Los Angeles. Hello, MJ.
Hi, Alma. Yes, good afternoon to all our viewers around the globe, and thank you for having me. And this is amazing. Thank you for inviting me for this reaction of President Rodrigo Duterte as a product of public schools. I really, really appreciate him putting a K-12 in the education system in the Philippines. And despite of the pandemic, imagine spending these infrastructure is the best way to really educate our new generation. We don't stop there because of the pandemic. And another one that I admire, because I've lived in the Philippines for a year, that was back in 2019. And I witnessed all of these build. And imagine driving from North Expressway going to Pangasinan is very quick now. And I believe it's like 2-hour drive. But now because of the Skyway, it connects the North Expressway and South Expressway, which is great in terms of traveling. If you don't like to be in the traffic, that is great news to everyone, all the commuters. And I really love this healthcare universal because it helps our less fortunate fellow men in the Philippines. So to get healthcare, you don't need to be a member of PhilHealth to be part of the PhilHealth, so which is really amazing. And one last thing, to be part of a progressive country, you have to really buy the military equipment, which is an amazing move of the government. Alma.
Thank you very much, MJ, for your reaction over there, and hope to see you soon for more reports there from Los Angeles.
Yeah, absolutely. This is MJ Racadio reporting from California. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Alma.
Thank you. All right, we get more reaction. Let's call on Crystal Ann Ballesteros for her reaction on the upcoming SONA of President Duterte. Hello, Crystal Ann.
Hi, Alma. Actually, it is not a reaction, but more on a recommendation.
Yes.
I commend President Duterte, whose popularity has gone through the roof. He scored a record of 91% public approval rating in a survey. President Duterte's record approval rating is the highest for the Philippine strongman so far, perhaps the highest for any leader in the world. It was the first major poll on President Duterte conducted in the wake of the COVID-19 crisis. The results stunned his critics and analysts. For his supporters, it was an affirmation that President Duterte is the only leader able to steer the country in these difficult times. President Duterte's constitutionally mandated single 6-year term ends on June 30, 2022. And as a Filipino, Alma, this is a very good opportunity for his successor. And I think it is not a wish, but rather a hope that may his successor continue to provide better, or I can say best country for all. And thank you, Alma, for this opportunity, and best of luck to President Rodrigo Duterte. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Crystal Ann, and you do stay safe over there.
Likewise, Alma.
Now we have more reactions, expectations for President Duterte's last State of the Nation address. We have here Gila Pablo, also from Thailand Bureau. Hi, Gila.
Hi, Esther. Good afternoon. And also good afternoon to all those who are joining us right now. And of course, waiting for the live coverage of the 6th State of the Nation address of our President, Rodrigo Roa Duterte. And thank you also, Esther, Alma, and ASEAN in Focus team for giving me this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to express my opinions and reactions about the SONA. First of all, I would like to say that the President's legacy will always remain in us, not only to us Filipinos, but also to all the different nationalities that I have met who have expressed their beliefs to our president. Actually, one of the OFWs here in Thailand sent me a message to give her message also to our president. I salute you, Mr. President, for having concrete solutions for what the people had long demanded after enduring over a year of public health crisis. I admire you for, despite all the criticisms people had thrown to you, you still had that desire to make Philippines better as it was been decades ago. That's from Sherfi May Valdez Monje. Actually, we know, everybody knows, Esther, that the world is currently devastated by the COVID-19 pandemic and has affected greatly all of the OFWs here in Thailand, not only here in Thailand, but to all different parts of the world. This unforeseen crisis had devastated us, and most of us were left unemployed and without any choice at all but to go back to the Philippines. And one of the current announcement of the government is asking all the Filipinos in Myanmar to go back to the Philippines. And for sure, most of them will go back to the Philippines unemployed and not sure at all what is waiting for them in our country. Esther, I just read this a while ago that the United Nations in the Philippines had this assessment and research last May 2021 about the impact of COVID-19 to all the returned OFWs. They have presented their assessment and reports informing the future programs on international recruitment, migrant worker protection in times of crisis, just like this, and reintegration of returned OFWs. As an OFW also, Esther, I hope that the Duterte administration or our president would use these reports, this kind of assessment, as key tool in formulating future policies and programs, and assure every OFWs that this will be implemented not only in his administration, but for the coming administration for the benefits of all the OFWs. Thank you, Esther.
Thank you, Gila, for sharing your insights and also from the OFWs in Thailand. Let's wait for his statement about the projects for OFWs. Thank you and stay safe.
Thank you.
Now let's go over to Malaysia. We have Alfred Balmes sharing his expectations and hopes on President Duterte's last State of the Nation address. Hi, Alfred.
Hi, Esther. This one is to thank you to our President Duterte for saving Boracay. He restored Boracay back to its original beauty with nature touch. It's already big help to our tourism industry, more job opportunities and business for our people in our country. Mabuhay po kayo. Back to you, Esther.
Thank you, Alfred, for that reaction. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Here is Ralph Landolf Empire joining us live from Vietnam. Hello, Ralph. All right, I think we lost connection with Ralph there. All right, and okay, do we have any more? I think we have everybody already. Thank you very much, Esther, for keeping me company today, and we're looking forward to the President's last State of the Nation address. coming right up soon. Thank you for keeping me company and stay tuned to all our programs today.
Yes, Alma, but before we go, we have Faye Barte from Thailand sharing her insights for the SONA. Okay, let's hear it from Faye. Hi, Faye.
Good afternoon to you, Alma, and good afternoon to you, Esther, and to all our viewers. This is a good opportunity for everyone to give many thanks to our president, president of the country there in the Philippines. I personally would like to give many thanks and sincere thanks to all the projects that have been already successfully implemented, and all the modernization that have been implemented, and especially the salary standardization law of 2019. It was a great help for everyone. Now, Alma and Esther, he mentioned on his fifth State of the Nation address, life that is lost forever. Courses that are not substantial can be supplemented. Education that is delayed can be recovered. Now, Alma and Esther, I would just like to know, and I'm expecting I would like to hear this quote or this sentence from him if after stepping down or after the position is already finished or the term, because his position would be only less than a year. Even if that would be the case, the extended hand to help the Filipino people, especially in this time of crisis of the pandemic and the COVID-19 still there, would the extended hand from our President Duterte still on the go? And if he would still give help, what are those help and where would it be intended for specifically?
All right, thank you very much, Faye, for your reaction over there. And one last short one from Ralph Mondolf Empire joining us. Hello, Ralph. Give us a very short reaction.
There,
Hello, and Ralph, yes.
Sure, this will be short, Alma. Well, I'm excited personally to witness our president's SONA. As a teacher, I would like to hear in President Duterte's SONA about his administration plans regarding the educational sector in the country. It's been like a year and a half since students are doing online lessons. It must be, exhausting. I'm wishing to hear him talking about possible measures and how to safely reopen schools and massive vaccination rollout for the education sector and the community. And I hope that the current administration is considering to support STEAM education in the country in order for the Philippines to rank higher in PISA. It's called Program for International Student Assessment and other global standards. And of course, on top of this, Alma, I'm hopeful that the Philippines will soon overcome this pandemic. And I believe that is through effective law implementation and a quick response by the government in combating the virus. I can't wait to hear that the Philippines has vaccinated everyone and everything is back to normal. At least living the life that every Filipino deserves in a new normal. Alma?
Thank you very much, Ralph, for your reaction there and for your sharing your expectations for the president. And we'll see you soon. Stay safe. Thank you very much. And that's it for today's broadcast. Esther, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Alma. That's the latest news in the Southeast Asian nations. And thank you, fellow correspondents, for your insights about the SONA of President Rodrigo Duterte. I'm Esther Aldana from ABC Thailand Bureau, and we live in interesting times.
I'm Alma Angeles. We'll see you back later. We live in interesting times.